I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, Sohan Gokarn. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful night?
Fantastic. I've been loving it. It is. I'll tell you something. It's fantastic over here. It's bright and sunny in Sydney. Can't complain.
It's a great pleasure to connect with you. You know, that's something I say very often. Can't complain. In fact, I usually say to complain is to remain. But let's just give our amazing audience just an insight of what's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on my podcast journey. I crank up for the night. It's nighttime here, and I'm running with Haley, and I'm talking to Haley, and in the middle of the conversation, it just cuts, and Skype says, "Please enter your password."
No way.
Now, this is the second time this has happened, right? But the process we have is connected to Skype. That's how we have so many conversations, right?
Yep.
So boom, I say, okay, no, right? I jump across to the emails. I say, okay, let me do Zoom. So I started sending out emails because it's 15 minutes. And then I call Haley, and then Haley says, hey, I understand we've definitely run out of time. Go to the next person. I email Sohan. Sohan says, hey, thanks for the heads up. I missed 2 other people. Then I say, okay, let me get my wife's account going and see if it's just my account, because I have like 1,500 people added there. It's probably that, right?
Wow.
And then Sohan logs on, and then I'm on Skype, so I log out of Zoom, and then the meeting ID for Zoom expires.
Right. Just what you needed.
Exactly. So I'm here. So I just came out. I just left the room, and I told my wife it happened again. And poor thing, she said, what? I said, they logged me out and I missed Sohan. Then I come back. I see the message from Sohan. I run on, and now I'm here. Like, people don't see these things, Sohan.
I love it. They say hard work doesn't come easy, and it comes in all types of overhauls. This is a classic overhaul.
Yes,
no
yes.
one sees it, but it's so true.
Yes.
Frustrations turn into fascinations.
Yeah, but as we said, right, like Sohan started so amazingly to say, I can't complain. This is great. Well, Sohan, please tell me, my friend, which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time?
Wow. Well, I think one of the biggest talents was the fact that we both particularly communicate with the world to spread a message to make a difference on this planet. And I think that talent is what maybe got us to, be a cause in the matter of this conversation today.
Yeah, it's fascinating how that works, right? That you're operating in your talent, I in mine, and that we would just cross over time to have a conversation. I'm fascinated by it.
It's fantastic. I'll tell you something even better. If you ever wanted to know what the future looks like, because we're down under, we see the sunrise first, let me know, my friend, and I'll give you guys a glimpse into your future.
Wonderful. I appreciate that tremendously. Well, Sohan, please tell us about the way you bring your message to the world, please.
Yeah, sure. I am a strategist. I'm a strategist for business and also for life in general. And that means I work with communicating with people, whether it's in a group, whether it's to do with people individually, one-on-one, or it's to do through a medium like having to create a podcast show just like yours and be able to convey a message to millions of people around the world just so that they can get more value. But also make sure I do it through social media, whether it's to do with YouTube or whether it's to do with having to do Facebook Lives in private groups. It's a powerful way for me to bring, I guess, my ability and the gifts that I've got to maybe make a difference to the families and the individuals, not just in organizations but also at a personal level. So it's basically those, yeah.
Yeah, tell us about the podcast, please.
Yeah, sure. The podcast is called Destination for Greatness. It's a brand new show. We only started it last year, and essentially, the listeners of the podcasts are people who are aspiring entrepreneurs, and also entrepreneurs who are looking for that missing piece of the puzzle. So it's typically for someone who wants to, on their way to work or on their way back home, they want to find that one piece. They're doing everything to get their ducks in a row, but there's this one piece. For entrepreneurs, there's one thing that we're always looking for, that one simple thing. If we could just find that magic piece of that puzzle that could catapult our business in terms of revenue, or whether it's staffing, or whether it's product line, or whether it's taking a product to market, or whether it's just simply growing personally in order to match the business impact and the size of the business. It's one of those shows that really helps entrepreneurs who are successful to come on the show to talk to our audience and share with them everything, right from the behind the scenes, the struggles, down to the point where they've been on their knees, kneeling and groveling for mercy or for answers from the divine, or just finding a way to the point where they become successful in their businesses, and the mindset along with strategies that they would have used, whether it's to do with bootstrapping their business and creating a successful empire, or whether it was funding, etc. So a lot of strategies, a lot of tips, a lot of tools, very practical, but also very emotional and raw. So it's a great show. And I love it.
That's good. Who did you learn the skill of podcasting from?
Oh, well, John Lee Dumas, the only one on the planet I feel who understands the power of podcasting, who created a legendary amount of work. And he certainly has created a legacy for a lot of people like yourself and me, where, we've taken inspiration from. So I think listening to John was a phenomenal turnaround for me. It was a year's worth of thinking and waiting, but it was an overnight execution, and it was so simple but yet so powerful. So yeah, definitely John Lee Dumas.
Yeah, definitely a great guy. Wow. Can you imagine the next 30 years when you look back at who John Lee Dumas was in the podcast world? Pretty amazing guy, right? Legendary.
Absolutely.
So you've done this for a while. Why will you continue? Why will you continue to share your messages? Even the coaching aspect of what you do. Why will you continue this, Sohan?
Why will I continue it?
Yes.
The biggest thing is, for me, I've got a massive vision. I've got a vision of having to impact 100 million families in the next 10 years. And that is in the form of having to create more joy, true compassion, true love within families, to be able to get people closer. And that can't be done just sitting behind as a minimalistic or a limited time frame project. It is a lifelong project that I've devoted my life to. And my inspiration comes from that one simple factor of being a pillar for the ones we love and we care about. And for me, whether I know someone or I don't know someone, I do have a compassion towards people and having to see them grow. So it's a never-ending journey, and I know that I've got a legacy to leave behind, of which I've already started building. But I want to be able to create that so that my kids and their friends and their friends' friends and the whole network in the future could end up using that to build on from there. So it's a massive project, and it's a big vision that I've got. So we want to be able to create that planet where people can love and be loved by others.
Well, tell me one other thing, Sohan, that you've done consistently over the last 3 years.
I think one of the biggest impacts I've had in the last 3 years is transforming people's lives. I've literally helped these people to, right from helping someone who was thinking of committing suicide for the last 26 years, having to shift that in a 45-minute drive and having to bring them back to their own life to say, nah, that's not good enough, and I'm way better than this, and them having that revelation to then have a transformation in their business, also in their personal relationships with their parents, and then having a even better impact on their lives in terms of their intimate relationships. And there are stories like these, along with stories where in the last 3 years impacting businesses where people are growing in they're progressing in their books in terms of their sales books, their revenues. People are seeing this through strategies that they see as a reflection on their business. because we all know the business is only a reflection of oneself or the one who owns it. And so personally growing also helps the business to grow. And so seeing both those things grow in the last 3 years has been a phenomenal thing that I managed to maintain consistently. And I love it. I think it's a great feeling.
I was about to say that. How does it make you feel? He says he loves it. All right. So why would you suggest to someone out there that they do operate in their purpose and their passion the way you have?
You know what? I feel when it comes to someone really understanding what they do and being able to deliver that passion, I think it comes down to what they really love doing, what they're so good at doing that no one else is as good at them, and then looking at the impact they make on people. Because when people realize that they're here not for themselves, but actually they're on this planet to serve others with their gifts and their talents. Funny you mentioned talents right at the beginning of a conversation. It's really that. It's when people understand that, they will accept and they will receive fulfillment, which they truly want. Every single person wants to be feeling fulfilled, as opposed to just simply achieving something. And that's why I really suggest that, what I do is making an impact on people's lives in my ways that I feel is best. But everyone has an opportunity to do that too, in their own ways, in their own skill sets, in their own talents. And that's what they need to bring to the table, because the art of fulfillment, true joy and fulfillment, is way better than following the science of achieving something.
Love it. Well, amazing audience, we are live with Sohan Gokarn. And again, he is the podcast host of Destination for Greatness. Sohan, if you had to point us to somewhere where we can follow up with you, what's the best place for us to go to?
I'll tell you what, Destination for Greatness is definitely one place to go. So destinationforgreatness.com is one place to go. The other place you can definitely find me is going on Facebook and looking me up with my first name and last name. It's Sohan Gokarn. It's Gokarn. I mean, you can go on Facebook and find me, or coachwithsohan.com. Best place.
Wonderful. Well, my friend, let's switch gears for a moment now and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. So,
I love this.
what is your earliest childhood memory?
Wow. Now that you take me to the waters, it makes it harder. But I feel, I think my earliest childhood memory would be the one where I was wrestling with my dad in my bedroom because I was angry and upset because I wanted a dog. I wanted a puppy, and he refused to give it to me. But I think that's my earliest childhood memory, because there's a connection with that to the impact that's made on my life today, which is profound and beautiful.
Yeah, tell us about the connection. If you connected the dots, I would love to hear that.
Wow, it's interesting because I must have been about 6 or 7 when that happened, or maybe around 7. But I think I had that revelation in 2012, so not too long ago, just 5 years ago. But I built a wall around my life from that age because I felt I wasn't good enough, because my dad didn't allow me to have a puppy that I wanted so badly. I've always been a dog lover, still am. But from that day on, I made a subconscious decision of believing that, I'm not good enough to deserve a dog, so I'm going to do whatever it takes in my life. And so I started trying really hard, and I became one of those try hard guys until 2012, where I realized that I didn't have to be that. And it was just a meaning that I made at a decision of 7, which is like only 7 years of life experience. But I carried that whole life experience decision with me in my adulthood, which wasn't necessary. And so I had this massive connection of dots where I realized I didn't have to have the 7-year-old dictate anymore what the 35-year-old had to do or 34-year-old could do in his life anymore. And it was okay for the 34-year-old to come out and make a new decision as an adult to say that I don't need to be someone else in order to achieve and get what I want. I can just be me, and I can be true to my own expression of freedom, and that way I can communicate authenticity to the world. And that has made an impactful journey for me since 2012, really, since I had that realization. So that memory is very, very close to my heart.
I love it. Well done.
Thank you.
If we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
What was that? 1990 when I was 12.
All right.
Well, I guess wow, it was probably Vanilla Ice. I remember dancing to that too. Dum 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 dum. Ice baby. Ice baby.
Love it, love it. Sohan, you look as though you are a ball, aren't you?
I tell you, man, I'll light the party up if I have an opportunity.
Oh. All right, my friend. Well, we have arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. Says yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Sohan?
Yes, sir.
Sohan, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Oh, not yet. No.
Are you married?
I was.
Do you have children?
Not yet, but would love to have them.
Do you believe in God?
Yes, sir.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Oh, yes, I do.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
Oh, no.
How about 3 hours a week?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Wow. You know what the funny thing is? I'll say a no for now because I would say yes if you asked me about a month ago. But I found a really cool app called Quality Time that allows me to know how much time I spend on my phone. So I don't spend more than that time now.
Right,
so it's a no.
So, and if you had to share with us a statement that represents who you are, your own unique real statement, what would you say that is?
I would say give it as much as you can without wanting anything in return in order for you to receive only much more than you ever thought of.
Ooh, love it. So, and my friend, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
You know what? I just want to say, whoever's listening, I just want to say thank you very much for making the time for yourselves to listen to this conversation that I had with this amazing gentleman, Angel, who's actually an angel, because without him, we wouldn't have had a chance to get together and have this little bit of a chat. And just focus on giving more than you receive. And I promise you, without the intention of wanting, you'll just see more, appreciate more than you expect. And that's a hard practice, but it's so worth it.
Love it. Sohan, great pleasure, my friend. Hey, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Likewise, my friend. God bless you and thank you so much.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.